All right, so this is our finished result as far as our color. We have our nice deep tones, cooler tones coming from underneath, and all that warmth from on top. I am going to use some Mega Varnish to give her some shine and make it nice and moisturized for cutting. I do prefer to dry cut. Just focusing that varnish through her ends. Being previously lightened, maintaining hydration is just difficult in the hair. So I tend to choose a lot of moisturizing and oil products for my clients that have blonding. Her existing shape is slightly rounded. As I mentioned earlier, she doesn't really like getting her hair cut. So for that reason, for the length, I'm just gonna trim it. With her finer texture, I don't need to section. I can cut it all together, and I'm gonna comb it back behind her shoulders to preserve as much length toward the front hairline as possible. Went into my head. So we're just gonna clean up everything that doesn't look full. And I will not round her cut because naturally the finer hair around her face doesn't grow as long. So she always has a round appearance. So I don't want her to feel like we chopped her hair. Because again, I get to style it, but she has to wear it. So I cleaned up her length. And now I'm gonna go in with parallel sections from front hairline to nape. And I'm going to give her concave layers. Just gonna pull it straight up so that I can preserve as much of her length as possible. And again, I will be over directing back to preserve the length along her face. Free eyebrow combing with every haircut. So I'm pulling it straight up so that everything below her occipital bone and above, actually kind of close to the parietal, can fall in the back. And I'm going to sufficiently clean up her layers. Sam, you need it. So now that I have my guide, I can move into layering the sides. So again, parallel section. I'm not pivoting around her head because I don't want to make her ends any slimmer than they would be naturally. I'm really just letting everything fall below that parietal ridge. And I prefer to point cut just so I can soften and cut at the same time. That's why I invested in these dry cutting shears. And then again, over directing back to really preserve that front hairline. So to her, it almost doesn't look like she got a haircut. Okay. Going to my second side, returning to my original guide, taking a parallel section all the way from the front hairline to the back. I prefer to cut longer hair together instead of separating the back from the front, only because I really want to be mindful of the lack of hair along the front where the ear is. So I find really tethering those sections together helps me maintain more hair around the ear. And again, Just really cleaning up that length more than anything. And over directing back and up keeps the most of her length. And you're really just dusting this side. Now, she does like to curl her hair, so I do like to bring everything up above the parietal ridge and deep point cut, just to give her a little extra separation.
Hi, I'm just coming to drop off
and movement.
stuff. It's okay. Can I just sit it for a minute? Yeah. I just have all this stuff and just move this over.
And I just keep the shears parallel with the hair. And really just disrupt how heavy her top, the top of her layering gets.
Teaching him how to cut hair?
No, I'm doing an application.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Shut up.
It has to be edited.
Yeah, there's a bunch of video in here of them doing cheesing on their work situation.
All right. That's okay. So we have concave layers, and I have preserved as much of her fullness in her length as I possibly could. And now I'm going to style it. So we're going to be using, that was an email, the Total Results Mega Sleek for a heat protectant. She has naturally wavy hair, and it's really fights being smooth. So I like this heat protectant because it really aids in not only protecting her hair from heat damage, but getting the hair nice and smooth. So I just take some sections and mist it throughout. Alright. That's probably the newest thing. Now we're just gonna start curling.
My makeup's done, so I don't have to worry about that part.
Right. So I prefer to work with a larger bare curling iron, especially with the trends right now with beach waves being in style. I will work with larger sections than typical. And I will slip it to twist it for more of an irregular shape. Sorry, Valerie, just let us know. We're in your way.
I'm in your way.
Are you working tomorrow?
No.
Okay. And I alternate curling each row opposite direction so that her curls don't hang out as one. And I also use a little bit of over direction to help with the wave being a little more inconsistent for that beachy look. Bye. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Alright, so just really inconsistently curled. Gives that more organic feel. Just alternating the direction of each row. Fun fact, I have had this curling iron almost a decade. I got it in beauty school.
Sounds like
Yeah, it's all squeaky. I like to take care of my tools, though. I know a lot of people who don't have, the same things that they got at the same time I did.
something that we do for you.
It does. And again, I'm over directing so that I'm not curling the hair in its natural position. And so when it falls back to its natural place, it's going to have a lot more inconsistent pattern versus the way it's wrapped around the barrel. Part toward me, right? This way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Still just alternating directions in my section. I personally love the beach wave trend because it's a time saver as a hairstylist, for one, and for two, it doesn't really sacrifice too much of their length to give them a nice voluminous texture. Fighting with my Marcel. Because you're constantly stretching the curl out by pulling it off the barrel. So they get to still have really long, beautiful hair and curls. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And just because this is going to end up on her part line, I'm going to curl it away from the face. Fumble.
Put my feet up. Put
Yeah.
my tailbone's angry. We'll edit that out.
Yeah. Pull the shit out of your hair right now.
Maybe you do need some new curling iron, bro. Like, hire me. I need money to buy a new curling iron.
I have a new one. I just like this one. Humble. All right, and then I'm just gonna load my hands up with a little bit more Mega Burnish to loosen up her curls and control any more frizz. And give her some excellent shine. It also smells amazing. And lastly, I'm going to follow up with the Style Fixer to really hold her style for her concert tonight. Okay. And
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's pretty. Well, you can see the teal.
yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Do we want to do like a?
There's a whole bunch of pinks blended together. A lot of dimension. And we're just over here pretending like it's not winter.
Where's the teal?
Right under here, it kind of got eaten up by the purple. Cool. Let's go snap some pictures and then we'll bounce.